Okay, this one is a nice problem about adding and subtracting decimals with negatives. So this one is quite a challenge. So I'm going to use a number line for most of these. So, oh, that's not working. Let's go here. All right. So if I'm adding fractions here, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to need to make sure that these denominators are the same. Oh. So I have sevenths and fifths. So I'm going to say, well, 2 sevenths, and I'm adding 3 fifths. I'm writing it this way so I can use the giant 1 here to see what common denominator can I make. 7 times something, there's a common multiple that they have in common. And if I know my 7s and can count by 7s, or know my 5s and can count by 5s, I know that I will eventually come to 35 for both numbers. If I'm counting by 7, 5 7s would make 35. And if I'm counting by 5s, 7 5s would make 35. And if I multiply 2 times 5, that's going to be 10. And we're dealing with the negative side of that. We're dealing with the opposite of 10 35ths. And then 3 times 7 is 21. So moving this over a little bit, if we have, now I'm going to write it out horizontally again, negative 10 35ths plus 31 35ths. I know my answer is going to be in 35ths, some amount of 35ths. So if I'm thinking about this, I'm just going to talk about our good old pal, Dr. Frog, jumping on the number line. Here's 0. And if he goes all the way to negative 10, jumps all the way to negative 10 here, and then jumps 21 hops back this way. If he hops 21 times back this way, well, I know that if he hopped 10, that would get him back to 0. And how many more feet or inches, or how many more feet will he have to go then to jump 21 total? He's already jumped 10. He needs to go 11 more. That would make 21. So if he went back to the left to negative 10, and then he jumped to the right, 21 times. I did it in steps. I said it would take him 10 to get back to 0, and then 11 more would get him to 11. So where is he? He is at 11 35ths. So that's that first answer here is 11 35ths. All right, let's do this one here. So let's take, let's take another number line here. For our second problem, it's going to get real messy, so I'm going to have to erase some of this. So here is 0. And we're going to go to 1 4/10. That looks good. That looks like 1 4/10 to me. Sure, why not? So here's where we are right here at 1 4/10. And now we're going to go backwards. We're going to go to the left. We're going to go to the left 2 3/10. Now, I know I'm going to go past 0 because, well, it's only 1 4/10 to 0. So if I break that up, I like breaking it up like this. So I know that this is 1 4/10 to get back to 0. So how much more do I need to go, and where do I end up, right? What is this here? Well, if I need to go a total of 2 3/10 to the left, and I've already gone 1 4/10, what's remaining? That is 9/10 remaining. So if I've already gone 1 4/10, I need to go another 9/10 this direction. That would get me a total. That would get me a total of 2 3/10 to the left. So where do I end up? If I was at 0 and then I went 9/10 more, hey, I'm at 9/10 negative. So negative 9/10 is our answer for B. All right, let's do C. All right, there we go. All clean. Let's do negative. Oh, here's my number line again. Sorry, it should be cleaner than that. And we're starting at negative. Whoa, let's rearrange this. Let's see what I'm doing here. All right, I'm going to put 0 here because we're already starting at the negative, the negatives, negative 5 2/10. And then we're actually going to the left a whole lot more. We're actually going to the left another 8 3/9. So I'm just going to treat this kind of just, if I'm already here, I'm going 8 and 3/9 more to the left. So if I am already here and I'm adding that many more negatives, so I'm lining up my decimal. I like having the same number of decimals here, so I'm going to add in a 0, a superficial 0. 9 hundredths plus 0 hundredths is 9. 2/10 plus 3/10 is 5/10. And 8 plus 5 is 13. So where do I end up? I don't end up at 13 and 59 hundredths. I end up at the negative 13 and 59 hundredths. All right. This one's fun. It's a mixed bag here. I really have a difficult time, and maybe you do too, adding fractions with decimals. So I need to do one of two things. I can either take 3/10 and convert it into a decimal. That's 3/10. And then add accordingly. Or I can take 4 and 29 hundredths and add those together. Now I can add fractions together with fractions, or I can just add decimals. To me, it's easier for me to add decimals, so I'm going to do that. 3/10 plus 4 and 29 hundredths. Again, I don't like my decimals not lining up like that, so I added in 0 hundredths. This became, instead of 3/10, it became 30 hundredths. So adding these together, I get 9, 5, 4. 4 and 59 hundredths. Thanks. Hopefully you guys study well for the test tomorrow.